Hey guys, I'm Alex. Wanted to put this video together to talk about carpet off-road racing here in the Carolinas. Um, some of the perks I've experienced with carpet off-road racing, I've really enjoyed the less hassle with your tire selection. Basically, I've been going to two tracks. I've gone to the Rug in King, North Carolina, as well as Bush River in Columbia, South Carolina. Both of these places have been wonderful to race at. Traction's been great. Racing format's been excellent racing all the way around. Each track, a little different tire required. Start with King. That's where I'll be racing this weekend. The Rug. I hope you'll join me there. The main tire of choice for myself has been the Schumacher Mini Pin 2. It is the most affordable tire. You can get the Mini Pin 2 for the rear and then the Cut Stagger for the front. If you show up with your own rims to King, you can get a full set of tire as well as a single race entry for your class, and you can be racing for $46 for the entire day. All you need is one set of tires, one race entry for your two-wheel mod buggy here for me. So as far as value goes in racing, I feel like having traction for the entire day, you don't have to do any tire sauce, you don't have to break them into a certain pin height. You can mount these up, and they pick up a little bit of speed when you knock that first edge off of them, but that goes practice, and they are ready to go. The other tires a lot of guys are running are the J Concepts pin downs with the Swaggers fronts. These have been really good tires as well. They are a little bit more expensive, but one of the big perks, the Concepts tires are lasting 3-4 times longer than the Schumachers. So yeah, they cost a little bit more up front, but they end up lasting a lot longer than the Schumachers. Handling wise, they both can get the job done. Small adjustments to run between them. The Schumachers felt a little more locked in to the track in the rear, where the J Concepts kind of had a little bit more slide to them. I've seen both tires win a race weekend, so it's the Archer, not the Arrow at that point. Then running tire-wise down in Bush River, they don't allow any pins due to they've had some carpet damage with just the way theirs is set up. So a lot of the guys are running foams. I myself am running the Gone Bananas Racing skins on these DE Racing rims. Thank you, Steven Sosmore, for hooking me up with these. They've been great. Just ran a full race weekend, full day of practice, 4 rounds of qualifying, followed by triple 8-minute A-mains on one set of tires for an entire. I've got 2 hours worth of run time just on these tires alone. The rears are about halfway worn down, but when I came off from A-main number 3, no change as far as what I could feel. The fronts, I've glued the sidewalls with some, I did a bead of super glue, followed around with a flathead screwdriver to put a nice kind of gloss. That mellowed out the steering for me, made my car a little bit easier to drive with the slicks. The narrowness of the Swagger Cut Stagger fronts kind of has achieved the same effect on the rubber tire. So drivability wise, the grip's been great. Another one of the perks of racing on carpet is the cleanliness of your vehicle. This car, this is my RB6 that I raced whole weekend, Bush River. Between practice, qualifying, and AAA mains, this car has around 2 hours of run time on it, and it looks fresh, ready to go this weekend at King. The slicks, no carpet fiber or anything in the cars from the slicks. You get a little bit more with the pins, I guess, with them pulling up on the surface, but a little bit of carpet fiber, take the blower to it and it comes right off. Shocks are still ready to go. Everything else is, just a little bit of dust. The grip on carpet off-road is really probably one of the best parts of racing on it. When you go out there, your tires with limited choices. There's limited choices because it doesn't require a wide variety to get in the track on race day. You can go and you can run either Schumacher, you can run J Concepts, or if you're running foams, you can pick your favorite flavor of foams, whether it be those are the Gone Bananas. There were guys running the BSRs. I believe the gentleman that won this past weekend was on those, as well as some homemade stuff. Nicholas Klein was out there running. He was able to procure the foam and true it down and ran his own person. How many times can you say you've gone to a race, podiumed on a tire you've made yourself? So I guess that's another little perk of running the foam type of tire. So the grip's there. I'd like to go over some of the chassis adjustments I've been doing to really, my main focus when I'm racing on carpet is drivability, not having the car snap in the corners or traction roll. So a lot of what you end up doing is I generally run the ride height 4 to 5 millimeters lower than if I'm racing on dirt. This car on dirt, I believe 22, 23 millimeters is pretty standard fare all the way around. When I make the switch to carpet, I'm usually around that 18, sometimes 19, sometimes 17, but right in there, right at 18 is usually what I do, ride height wise, and that kind of calms down the traction rolling. It doesn't do too much for the steering, so for that I've gone through and usually I'll start with a stiffer front spring that really, it's helped transfer the weight less aggressively, and then it rebounds quicker so it doesn't lock down on the front end of the car. I guess that is one of the beauties of racing carpet is when you're making these adjustments, you can immediately go back out and test them. Your track hasn't changed. There's not a different level of moisture in it. You don't have to clean, re-grip, prep your tires, and then they haven't worn out of their sweet spot. So you really get to learn what your car does with all your camber link adjustments and spindles and shock oils, all the adjustments you make on these cars when you're running on carpet. You learn so much quicker. I know, I've been racing for 15 years, and 2 months worth of carpet racing, I'm learning more detailed feelings on what these adjustments do versus, on dirt, there's more variables on dirt. So it's kind of a tougher way to learn what everything's doing. So really been enjoying it. I highly recommend you try it if you haven't before. It is, you don't have to change your whole car away from your off dirt setup. I mean, I've gone the first 2 or 3 race weekends, been in contention. I'm rusty. It happens. Not as quick as I'd like to be or used to be, but been in there in the mix. Cannot blame the car. Your shock packages will be the same. Will work pretty close. Just make sure you get the right tire, and then kind of work your way from there. I myself, from what I used to run on dirt, have thickened the shock fluid, gone up on spring, all of which you can do in 10 minutes in pits. You can undo it if you like. And then really the biggest change that helped me was putting that gear diff in. It took me a month or so to finally, bite the bullet, but turns out even on this Kyosho car, which everybody, they're pretty pricey to get into the kit, but full gear diff kit was $22 from A-Main Hobbies, and it was really nice. It went together. It hasn't leaked any fluid into the diff case, so came with outdrives and Kyosho parts, so everything, the fit and finish was fantastic. Had an extra idler gear in there too, so switching to the gear diff was a good choice. Occasionally, but sometimes King, I'll run the sway bar. Bush River, it wasn't working for some reason that day, so when I make it up to King, I'll try that again if I need to. But as far as major adjustments, it's all basic stuff to get your car. This is a 4-gear stand-up transmission, so it's if you don't have the lay down car with the shocks forward and all that, don't worry about it. Just go have fun. It's really easy to do, and it's a new thing to try. The guys at King, Chris Smith, everybody knows him. He's been he's been running races here in the Carolinas for 20 years. So nothing but respect for that guy. His facility's top notch. Then you go down to Bush River. Bush River runs they run a kid league. getting new blood into the hobby, which is great to see. I mean, that's doing all of us a favor. If you're a long-term racer, you know how important it is bringing more people into this. It's not always easy to do, and they run a kids league down there at Bush River, so their novice class is just rocking down there. So I really hope you'll join me this weekend. We're running the Rug up in King, North Carolina. They open the gates at 8 a.m. It's going to be a really good time, so hope to see you there.